Did you know that the exact electric vehicle you think is the future is considered a catastrophic mistake by the biggest and most successful car manufacturer on the planet? For years, the media and politicians have told you that the internal combustion engine is dead and that battery-powered cars will single-handedly save the Earth. But while the world was obsessing over heavy, expensive lithium batteries, Toyota quietly launched a technology that is currently giving the entire electric vehicle industry massive panic attacks. This is not just a regular concept car or a far-off science fiction dream. This is a real physical machine that violently combusts fuel inside an engine exactly like a classic petrol car. But instead of pumping out toxic black smoke, the exhaust literally drips pure drinkable water. Today, we are going to expose the harsh financial and environmental reality that giant electric car companies desperately want to hide from you, and we will reveal why the hydrogen revolution is about to make battery-powered cars completely obsolete. For the past decade, we have been sold a beautiful dream. We have been told over and over that electric vehicles are the ultimate clean energy solution that produces absolutely zero emissions. But the dark and dirty truth behind this shiny promise is terrifying once you look at the complete life cycle of a battery. To build a single average electric car battery, the Earth must be violently ripped open to extract hundreds of thousands of pounds of raw dirt and rock. Mining for essential battery elements like lithium, cobalt, and nickel causes a level of environmental destruction that completely destroys local ecosystems. In the dry regions of South America, extracting lithium consumes entire local water supplies, leaving the surrounding agricultural land completely barren and destroying the livelihoods of local farmers. Furthermore, the mining equipment used to dig up these materials consists of massive industrial excavators and heavy transport trucks that burn thousands of gallons of diesel fuel every single day. And the horror story of EV production does not stop at lithium. A massive portion of the world's cobalt, which is absolutely crucial for battery stability, comes from mines in developing nations where the labor conditions are deeply unethical and highly dangerous. Once these heavy metals are finally extracted, they are loaded onto massive diesel-burning cargo ships and transported halfway across the globe to be refined. By the time an electric vehicle actually rolls off the factory floor, it has already created a massive carbon footprint before it has even been driven a single mile. Then comes the absolute everyday nightmare of charging, which remains the biggest and most unsolvable pain point for every single electric vehicle owner. If you are taking a simple road trip with your family, you are forced to plan your entire route around charging stations. When you finally find one, you have to sit and wait anywhere from 40 minutes to over an hour just to get enough juice to reach your destination. And that is only if you are incredibly lucky enough to find a fully functioning fast charger without a massive line of other frustrated drivers waiting in front of you. The electric vehicle illusion shatters completely the moment the temperature drops. If you are driving in the freezing winter, your battery chemistry slows down and your driving range is immediately slashed in half. Simply turning on the cabin heater to keep yourself warm drains the battery power at an alarming rate, leaving drivers stranded on frozen highways. We saw this reality hit hard recently when freezing temperatures completely paralyzed major cities, leaving thousands of dead electric cars stranded at frozen charging stations because the batteries were simply too cold to accept an electrical charge. Beyond the daily driving headaches, there is a massive ticking bomb hiding underneath the floorboards of every electric vehicle, and that is the cost of battery replacement. An electric car battery degrades exactly like the battery inside your smartphone. If your battery pack reaches the end of its life or gets slightly damaged by hitting a piece of debris on the road, replacing it is a financial disaster. Replacing a modern EV battery can cost as much as buying a brand new traditional gas-powered car. Insurance companies are now writing off entire electric vehicles with thousands of miles of life left in them simply because a minor scratch on the battery casing makes the vehicle too expensive to repair. Range anxiety has evolved from a fear of running out of power into a deep financial anxiety, turning everyday drivers into stressed-out mathematicians trying to calculate depreciation and repair costs. Seeing all these glaring practical and economic issues, the former CEO of Toyota, Akio Toyoda, constantly warned the automotive world that we cannot and should not rely exclusively on electric cars. He argued that the power grid simply cannot handle millions of cars plugging in at the same time, and that consumers need diverse options. For his honesty, the industry aggressively laughed at him. He was mocked by tech billionaires, heavily criticized by environmental groups, and pressured so intensely by investors that he eventually had to step down from his role as CEO. But behind closed doors, Toyota never stopped funding a massive secret engineering project that is now slowly suffocating the electric vehicle market. Time has proven Toyota absolutely right. Today, electric car sales are crashing globally. Dealership lots are completely overflowing with unsold electric vehicles. Massive rental car companies that previously bought tens of thousands of EVs are now selling them off at a massive loss because the repair costs and massive depreciation are destroying their profits. While the competition was blindly chasing battery technology, Toyota kept their focus on a fuel source that is about to become the ultimate EV killer. That fuel is hydrogen. There are two entirely different ways hydrogen is being used right now to power vehicles, and both methods completely destroy battery electric vehicles in terms of everyday practicality. The first method is the hydrogen fuel cell, which is currently being used in production cars like the Toyota Mirai. This technology relies on a complex fuel cell under the hood, where highly pressurized hydrogen gas from the tank is pushed through a membrane to meet oxygen drawn in from the outside air. When the hydrogen and oxygen molecules forcefully combine, they create a natural chemical reaction that instantly generates electricity. This electricity is then sent directly to the motor to drive the wheels. The most mind-blowing and almost magical part of this complex chemical engineering is that the only physical byproduct of this entire reaction is pure water. You drive the car at highway speeds, and clean water simply drips harmlessly from the tailpipe back onto the road. But while the fuel cell is incredible, the real game changer is the second method. This is the technology that is causing sheer panic in the boardroom of every major electric vehicle company. It is the new hydrogen combustion engine developed and perfected by Toyota and its partners. This is exactly the same familiar internal combustion engine you would find in your traditional gas car. It features the exact same heavy pistons, the same spark plugs, the same intricate valves, and that exact same glorious mechanical roar that every single car enthusiast lives for. The only difference is the fuel injectors and the fuel management system have been highly modified so that instead of burning liquid petrol, the engine aggressively burns liquid hydrogen. When hydrogen combusts inside the engine cylinder, it creates an explosive mechanical force that drives the pistons down. But because hydrogen contains absolutely zero carbon atoms, there are zero toxic carbon emissions. Toyota did not just build this engine for slow city driving. They took it straight to the absolute extreme limit in the world of professional motorsports. They custom-built a fully liquid hydrogen-powered GR Corolla and entered it into the grueling Super Taikyu endurance races in Japan. Pushing a car to its absolute limits for 24 hours straight on a racetrack completely shattered all previous engineering expectations. Initially, the pit crew took over 5 minutes to carefully refuel this incredibly complex race car, but Toyota engineers aggressively advanced the liquid pumping technology and reduced that refueling time down to just 90 seconds. Imagine the reality of waiting an hour for an electric vehicle to charge versus 90 seconds to fill up a screaming hydrogen race car. To prove that the combustion engine is not dead, Toyota even partnered with Yamaha to develop a massive high-performance 5-liter hydrogen-powered V8. This masterpiece of engineering produces over 450 horsepower and screams to the red line, proving that we can save the planet without killing the high-performance sports car. The advantages of this hydrogen combustion technology are so massive that the entire electric vehicle industry combined simply cannot compete. The first huge benefit is the total salvation of your time. Just like visiting a regular gas station, you pull up, insert the pressurized nozzle into the car, and in about 3 to 5 minutes, your tank is completely full and you are back on the road. You never have to wait in line for hours at a broken charging station ever again. The second massive advantage is consistent and reliable range. An electric car range fluctuates wildly based on battery health, the weather outside, and how fast you are driving. But hydrogen cars can easily and consistently deliver 400 to 500 miles of range with absolutely zero anxiety, regardless of whether it's freezing cold or boiling hot outside. The third and perhaps most vital benefit to humanity is the true environmental impact. Manufacturing and disposing of massive, toxic lithium batteries is a logistical nightmare, but a hydrogen combustion engine car does not require a giant heavy battery pack. Because it lacks that battery, it weighs exactly the same as a normal gas-powered car. This means it does not destroy its tires or the road surface. Modern electric vehicles are so incredibly heavy that they literally chew through tires at an alarming rate, spreading massive amounts of toxic micro-rubber particle pollution into the air and waterways everywhere they drive. Furthermore, electric vehicles are honestly a punishment for people who actually love the art of driving. They make no mechanical sound, they have no real gear shifts, and driving one feels exactly like operating a large household appliance, like a refrigerator or a washing machine. The hydrogen combustion engine keeps the raw emotional soul of driving completely alive. You step on the pedal, you hear the engine violently roar to life, you physically feel the mechanical shift of the gears, and you actually feel a deep connection to the machine. You get to keep all the joy and passion of traditional driving while producing literally zero emissions. Then there is the massive, unsolvable problem of heavy-duty global transport. Giant semi-trucks, heavy city buses, and massive ocean cargo ships can never run entirely on lithium batteries. The basic laws of physics prevent it. To power a fully loaded semi-truck across the country, the required lithium battery would weigh dozens of tons. This massive battery weight would leave absolutely no legal weight capacity for the truck to carry actual cargo, ruining the entire point of the transport industry. Hydrogen completely wins the heavy transport war because the gas itself is incredibly lightweight and its energy density is infinitely superior to heavy lithium battery packs. A truck can be fueled with hydrogen in minutes and carry a full load of cargo across the country without destroying the highway infrastructure. You are probably wondering right now why hydrogen cars are not parked in every driveway if the technology is so perfect. The biggest and most realistic hurdle right now is the refueling infrastructure and the current cost of producing and storing the fuel. Electricity is already piped into every building in the world, but hydrogen fueling pumps are currently rare and highly expensive to build. Finding hydrogen is not the issue, since it's the most abundant chemical element in the entire universe, but separating it from water and then chilling it to a liquid state at -253 degrees Celsius is a highly complex and energy-intensive engineering challenge. However, giant industrial corporations are rapidly solving these exact problems. Companies are building ultra-strong carbon fiber composite tanks that won't explode even in severe high-speed crashes. In fact, because hydrogen gas is significantly lighter than air, if a tank ever did happen to leak, the gas instantly shoots straight up into the upper atmosphere, making the fire risk significantly lower than pooling liquid petrol, which spreads across the ground and catches fire. Furthermore, electric vehicles are honestly a punishment for people who actually love the art of driving. They make no mechanical sound, they have no real gear shifts, and driving one feels exactly like operating a large household appliance, like a refrigerator or a washing machine. The hydrogen combustion engine keeps the raw emotional soul of driving completely alive. You step on the pedal, you hear the engine violently roar to life, you physically feel the mechanical shift of the gears, and you actually feel a deep connection to the machine. You get to keep all the joy and passion of traditional driving while producing literally zero emissions. Then there is the massive unsolvable problem of heavy-duty global transport. Giant semi-trucks, heavy city buses, and massive ocean cargo ships can never run entirely on lithium batteries. The basic laws of physics prevent it. To power a fully loaded semi-truck across the country, the required lithium battery would weigh dozens of tons. This massive battery weight would leave absolutely no legal weight capacity for the truck to carry actual cargo, ruining the entire point of the transport industry. Hydrogen completely wins the heavy transport war because the gas itself is incredibly lightweight and its energy density is infinitely superior to heavy lithium battery packs. A truck can be fueled with hydrogen in minutes and carry a full load of cargo across the country without destroying the highway infrastructure.